One of my biggest surprises when I first graduated college and started making real money was just how little money I was able to save. I went from making minimum wage before college to making 4 or 5 times minimum wage, but I did not see my savings double or triple. In fact, in my first year, I had actually saved more money when I was living with my parents and making minimum wage. I had saved more money. How in the world can that be? And it has a huge impact on us being able to prepare for retirement. Figure this out and we can probably retire 7 years early, 10 years earlier. Don't figure it out, and you know what? We're looking at working until we're too old to enjoy it. I don't want to see that happen to you. So today's video, I'm going to share with you the main reason why high earners are not saving more money. And the first thing I want you to know is we are not alone. If you're not saving enough money, you're not alone. Over half of all Americans making over $100,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, why is that? You know, the first thing I want to share, number one, is that fancy cars are not wealth. A big home is not wealth. A nice vacation is not wealth. Wealth is wealth. Savings is savings. Savings is the money that we don't spend on the car, the nice house, the nice vacation. Morgan Housel talks about that in the book, The Psychology of Money. Wealth is unspent money. So that's the first mindset shift that we need to be thinking about is how do we set aside money? How do we make that happen? I'm going to go through the main reasons why high earners don't save money. But then at the end, I'm going to share with you how you can save money if you're not saving as much as you'd like. So be sure to stick around till the end. Okay, so the first reason is income isn't wealth, right? Wealth isn't cars. We talked about that. The second one, candidly, is most good paying jobs, most jobs that are paying big salaries, are based in big cities. And big cities, New York City, San Francisco, Miami, places like that, are expensive cities to live in. And so while you're making more money, multiple studies have shown when you take the cost of housing into consideration, many of those people making $100,000 a year plus are no further ahead. You know who's further ahead? Is the landlord of the apartments that they're renting, or the landlords of the buildings that they're in. So the second reason is those big salaries are often in big cities. The third reason is student loans. Student loans have gotten out of hand. Student loans is, for most of us, is the longest living debt, the longest maturity debt that any of us will have. It lasts longer certainly than car loans. It lasts longer, it surprisingly lasts longer than a 30-year mortgage. Take a look at this chart that shows who owes money on their student loans at various age groups. So you can see under 30, it's almost a fourth, which you'd expect, a fourth of the people that owe student loans. From 30 to 39, it's about a third of the people. Again, that's not terribly surprising, but now it starts getting surprising. 40 to 49-year-olds, 22% of all student debt is owed by people 40 to 49. Now stick with me because I'm about to show you how much money they actually owe. 50 to 59, 15% of all student loans are owned by people in that range. And then believe it or not, over 60, it's 8% of outstanding student loans are owed by people over 60. I don't know about you, but I don't want to have any student loans due when I'm over 60. It's not like they don't owe much money. It's not like they went to community college, they took a course, there was low interest student loans available, so they took out $1,000 or $2,000. These are actual real numbers that move the needle for them. So what does the average person owe in student loans? If you're under 30, it's almost $25,000. If you're 30 to 49, it's almost $43,000. And you know what? It doesn't go down. In fact, it goes up from 40 to 49. The average student loan balance for people that owe student loans, this is the average of people that owe student loans, almost $45,000. And it stays up there for the next category, which is people 50 to 59. And then even over 60, remember that 8% of all student loans are owed by people over 60. They owe a lot of money. It's over $35,000. So the number 3 reason why people that are making good money are not saving as much as they should is because a lot of them went to school for a long time. They're highly educated. Yes, they have well-paid jobs, but they have a ton of student loans. So that's the 3rd reason. And the next reason is one that we've all dealt with, right? The more stuff that we have, it seems, the more stuff that we want. Stuff doesn't make us happy, but yet, if you look at what most commercials are, we're being bombarded online, we're being bombarded in print media, we're constantly, television, we're constantly being told, buy, buy, buy. It's going to make you happy. It's going to make you better looking. It's going to make you lose weight. Buy, buy, buy. Buy this $50,000 car. Look how happy that family is going camping out in the forest. And if that's what they're using the car for, they probably will be happy. But if they're just using it to impress their neighbors, guess what? Not so much. It's not the stuff that makes us happy. I'm almost 60, and I've learned this lesson. The things that make me happy are probably very similar to things that make you happy, right? It's relationships, it's experiences, and for me, I love adventures. So those are the 3 things that make me happy. And frankly, stuff, at my age, I don't want more stuff. I want less stuff. I want less things that I have to take care of. I have some friends that have done very well. Most of you know I'm a financial advisor. I've been in the industry for over 20 years. I'm fortunate, a lot of my friends have millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. And they will say, you know what, I feel like my stuff owns me. And fortunately, they were ahead of me on the path. And they warned me, hey, all this stuff that they've been accumulating feels like it owns them versus they owning it. So stuff doesn't make us happy, but people are caught in this trap. They buy something, they buy a new car for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. And it doesn't make them happy. So what do? They try buying something else. It's not going to make them happy. It's just, you almost need to go cold turkey. You almost need to shut off that dopamine hit and say, I'm not going to buy stuff. I'm just going to buy what I need. Not what I want, but just what I need. The stuff, food, gasoline for my car. I'm going to take a simpler vacation instead of, guilty as charged, instead of going to South America, Europe, Southeast Asia, I'm going to go camping locally. I'm going to simplify things and get back to my basics and cleanse my body, my desires of all these dopamine hits from buying stuff, because it's not going to make us happy. And once we get rid of that, then we can start building from there and really think about what brings us joy. You want to start saving more money if you're making 100,000 plus. Job number 1, I think, is write a journal. Take 10 minutes, whatever time in the day that works for you. I don't like people that say, wake up at 5 a.m. and write a journal. You know why I don't like it? Because I don't wake up at 5 a.m. Maybe you do, and you do you. But I don't care when you journal, but just take 10 minutes every day and write down in your journal, these are the things that brought me joy today. You know what? It might be having a cup of Starbucks with a coworker. It might be going for a walk with your spouse at the end of the evening. But you know what I bet's not going to be on that list? Is opening up that cardboard box from Amazon. So keep a list of the things that bring you joy in life and start focusing more of your spending, more of your effort on those things that bring you joy. And less time, less money, start spending less, investing less time and less money on those other things. And for many of us, for me, it's less time on stuff. Okay, and then the final point, the 5th point for today, is one that you've heard, but stick around because I'm going to share with you some other ideas for how you can start saving more and really move the needle so you can retire earlier. The last one is just lifestyle creep. We start making more money, we can afford to live in a nicer house. We can afford a larger car payment. But just because we can afford it doesn't mean we should spend it. We can afford nicer clothes, a nicer suit, a nicer watch, there we go, a nicer watch. Just because we can afford it doesn't mean we should do it. So So what should we do? I think for many people, the ability to retire early, boy, at 60 years old, if we're lucky, most of us are going to have less than 1,000 weeks of healthy, active time in front of us. What would bring a lot of us joy is, could we retire at 55 and enjoy 5 years of worry-free, carefree living before we have to worry about the health issues that are going to start to plague many of us, where we have to go to the doctor on a regular basis. I was trying to schedule lunch with a friend of mine just to get together. He usually lives in a different town. He was in town for a month. We're trying to figure out a time to get together, but you know what? A lot of his days were booked with doctor's appointments. Now he's 10 years older than me. And you know what? I'd be foolish to think that that could not happen to me. It could. I do what I can to stay healthy, but we can only do so much. Maybe we get to 70 before our genes kick in and our health is what our health is because of our genes. But we do what we can. So again, getting to the point, being able to retire 5 years earlier and enjoy those years, we just can't calculate what the value of that is, but I think many of us will look back when our time on earth is over and we're looking back and we'll say, you know what, I'm really glad I got to retire at 55 or 60 instead of 65, 67 or 70. And we're not going to think about that stuff that comes in the cardboard boxes delivered by the big online retailers, right? So how do we do this? I wish I had a simple answer for you. It's simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. The simple answer is I want you to think of the 50-30-20 rule. And what I mean by that is look at your after-tax take-home pay before you put any money in savings. And I want you to think about budgeting 50% of your after-tax take-home pay for your needs in life. Your gas for your car, your mortgage payment, utility down the house, food, not eating out, grocery food, right? Food that you cook. See if you can keep that under 50%. Then I want, of your after-tax take-home pay, then I want you to look at your wants. Going out to a nice meal, going on a nice vacation, buying some stuff that you think might be nice to have, right? You see, I'm wearing an Apple Watch and I'm a fanboy, right? So for me, it would be gadgets. But keep that at 30% or less. So if you can keep your wants at 50%, if you can keep your needs at 30% or less, that leaves you with 20% for savings. And if you can save 20% a year, you're going to move the needle. This person making $100,000 a year, let's just for the sake of argument say that they're paying about $20,000 a year in taxes. So they have $80,000 of take-home pay. If they can save 20% of that, $15,000, $16,000, $20,000 a year, that is going to move the needle for them. And I want your savings to move the needle for you and to give you freedom as you enter your 50s and maybe your early 60s. So freedom instead of stuff. I also want you to enjoy the journey between now and then, which is why I want you to think about watching this video here, which are 7 things to stop doing in your 50s, to enjoy the journey. Yes, it's important that we retire early and take advantage of the youth of our senior years, but it's also important we enjoy the journey until then, and that's what this video here is about. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in there. Bye-bye.